It was early morning. I was waiting for my usual train to arrive. I was heading to the office. The train pulled in and everybody got in line to board. Someone behind tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around to see a strange-looking person. He was smiling at me. It was an odd, sympathetic smile. The reason I thought he was strange was because he wasn't wearing anything modern. He wore a silk hat and really out-of-date clothes. I guessed he was between 40 or 50 years old. I just thought, okay, this guy's a bit weird. I wonder what he wants. It was like a movie, because I thought to myself, can anyone like this be in real life? He looks so out of place. I thought, just my luck. I get to speak to a weirdo this early in the morning. I asked, can I help you with something? He said, I saw something on the floor, and I thought that you dropped it. As he said this, he offered a closed fist towards me. Huh? Did I really drop something? I thought. Oh, thank you. Sorry about that, I said. I placed my hand under his closed fist. He looked at me in the eyes and said slowly, don't drop it again, as he opened his fist. What? Excuse me, I began. I had no idea what he was talking about. I looked down to see what he was about to drop in my hand, but my palm was empty. He didn't put anything in my hand. I had no idea what he meant. I couldn't understand the situation at all. Oh, was all I managed to say. I met his gaze one last time, held it for no longer than a second before he disappeared into the crowd of commuters. He was gone. There was just a slim, middle-aged man reading the newspaper staring at me now. Was that a ghost? I asked myself. It felt like I was under a spell. I didn't feel my usual self. What the hell was that? I tried to get my head straight. Suddenly, I felt pain. My head began to throb. I wonder if it could even be described as a headache because it felt like my head was about to crack in two. I felt nauseous and had to get out of line immediately before I threw up everywhere. I managed to make it to the toilets in time. I have no idea why I became suddenly sick that day. I just sat in the cubicle by myself until I started to feel better. I glanced at my watch and realized that an hour had passed. Oh man, I'm gonna be in so much trouble at work, I thought. I slowly left my cubicle and tried to make it back to the tracks. The atmosphere seemed different, almost solemn. Did something happen out here? I wanted to find out, so I went to ask an employee at the station. He told me that there had been an accident on the tracks. Now I guessed that somebody had been hit by a train. I was wrong. A much more fatal accident had happened. The Amagasaki rail crash. A disastrous railway derailment. The train I was about to board was destined to derail. I was supposed to be on that train. I was so lucky that I didn't get on. Sometimes I think about what that person tried to hand me. Could it have been my own life? I will never know. I also wonder why I was saved. I'm just a member of the public. There's nothing special about me. Have you ever had a ringing in your ears? I read somewhere that it could be a sign that something is about to happen, like a premonition of sorts. Since I read this, I have always regarded tinnitus as that. Whenever I have tinnitus, I always stop, look around me, and remain alert. It's become a habit of mine. I work in a mall. When I finish work, I usually go shopping. This happened to me after work at around 8 p.m. I had a few errands to run, so I got in the elevator and went down to the 3rd floor of the mall. The hallway is T-shaped. From the elevator's doors, you have to walk straight for a bit, and then you can either go left or right. Just when I got off the elevator, the ringing in my ears began. That painful feeling was back, as well as my own apprehension. While exiting the elevator, I did my usual routine. I stopped, remained alert, and looked around. At the end of the hallway, on the right-hand side, a knife, held by someone unseen, was slowly and deliberately poking out from behind the corner. I was terrified since I was completely on my own. I panicked. I ran into a shop next to the elevator to take refuge. I rambled apologies and gave them an explanation for bursting in. I knew someone was out there. My stomach churned as I called the police. By the time the police arrived, the guy was gone. But they checked the security camera and found some footage of a man holding a knife hiding behind the corner. The incident shook me to my core. It seemed like the man just wandered into the building holding a knife. When he got to the T-shaped hallway, he started darting about like some trapped animal, and then he hid behind the corner as he heard the elevator approaching. Then, when nobody came his way, he wandered back out of the building. After that, the man just blended into the crowd and was untraceable. He didn't act crazed or angry. The police were convinced that he hadn't committed a crime either. Why? What did he want to do? Was there something about my presence? I don't know him, and I doubt he knows me. It happened completely by fate. Fate has no rules. It does as it pleases. I was saved that day by my habit, and whenever I think back to it, I shudder. If I didn't stop to check my surroundings like I always do when tinnitus hits me, I would have walked right into that strange man wielding the knife, and who knows what he would have done.